out of 10 of the top Australia Day honours have gone to women. In all, there are 829 honours, ranging from prominent Australians to quiet achievers who make a difference in their community. Philippa McDonald reports.
After losing her daughter to type 1 diabetes and fighting cancer herself, Dr Susan Alberti has made it her mission to back medical research and champion women's sport.
I'm humbled and all of the above. But what it means to me is women will be elevated.
Maria Myers is being recognised with a top honour for philanthropy, particularly for the arts. And Professor Mary O'Kane, the New South Wales Chief Scientist, is also receiving a Companion of the Order of Australia.
Follow your dream. If you're really passionate about doing some research or as an engineer building something, do it.
7 men join the 3 women who receive ACs this year. For tennis great Rod Laver, one of the top gongs for sport places him in a very exclusive club, alongside Sir Donald Bradman and Herb Elliott.
It's hard to put it all together because it's just a huge honour.
He's the man who campaigned to axe the mining tax. Mitch Hook is receiving a Member of the Order of Australia for significant service to business, especially mining.
I'm chuffed. I'm delighted that whatever role I had in that, it essentially killed bad public policy.
Captain Richard de Crepney is credited with saving the lives of 469 people on board QF32 when one of the engines exploded mid-flight 5 years ago.
I'm thrilled and I'm honoured, and I think all the people in my team should have got one.
This is Australian Muslim Voice on 99.
Diana Abdul Rahman is being honoured for being a voice for the Islamic community.
It's probably the icing on the cake at the end of many, many years of hard community work.
First, she was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Now she's got an Australia Day honour. Tina Arena says she was moved to tears.
This Order of Australia is another thing. It's another level. That one's got me pretty speechless.
Contributions to the visual arts are also being marked, including Tracy Moffat, one of Australia's most successful artists. He's now CEO of the Football Federation, but David Gallop has been recognised too for his contribution to rugby league and the community.
We did some groundbreaking work around respect for women, and I think I look back on those things as great moments in my career.
And for the newly retired Leighton Hewitt, a Member of the Order of Australia for significant service to tennis. Philippa McDonald, ABC News.
In Sydney, the harbour is once again at the heart of Australia Day celebrations. ABC reporter Nick Dole joins us now. Nick, plenty of pomp and ceremony today, as well as more typically Australian celebrations.
Yeah, and a few unconventional celebrations too, Anita. A short time ago we saw a group of people in a wading pool that was on the back of a ute, cooling off after what's been turned into a pretty spectacular day, really, weather-wise. And certainly there are a lot of picnics, barbecues, citizenship ceremonies, as there always is. And while some people were using the opportunity to reflect on Australia Day and reflect on the Australian identity, for others, today was just a great excuse to hang around with families and friends, to relax and to celebrate what it is to be an Australian. The harbour was certainly a great place to do that today, where celebrations started bright and early.
On a rather gloomy Sydney morning, before some of us were even awake, hundreds of Sydney-siders were taking the plunge. With an Olympic champion watching on, they braved the choppy harbour water, some hesitant about what may be lurking beneath.
I had to get that out of my head that I wasn't going to die, so yeah, but I didn't, I'm here.
Georgine Mackenzie Hicks is 88. She brought her grandson Lewis along to show him how it's done.
And what do you think of your grandma?
Oh, she's incredible.
They were racing on land too, around the rocks, Paralympian Kurt Fearnley winning his 10th title in the annual wheelchair event. But today didn't need to be an energetic affair. Thousands of families flocked to the foreshore to relax.
Celebrating our country and spending time with our friends and family and having a great time.
The harbour's a natural draw card, but there was an even bigger show in town.
Here to see the Wiggles. The Wiggles.
They're one of Australia's best-known musical acts, and they were back home to entertain the crowds on Australia Day. Who's your favourite Wiggle?
Emma. I just love her.
As that show wrapped up, another was just beginning on the harbour. Sydney's resident Seal took up prime position as the ferries raced to be first under the harbour bridge. There was a dazzling display in the air too. The Navy's helicopters came out for a spin. But nothing could beat the speed and thundering sound of the RAAF flyover. While the tall ships helped reenact Australia's history, the future of the nation's Navy, HMAS Adelaide, was just being broken in. And what better way to do it than with a game of cricket with the Governor? There was still time for tradition, though, as the ship received a 21-gun salute.
While there's been plenty of action here on the harbour today, thousands have been celebrating in their own way, closer to home, across the city and across the state.
It was a colourful day in the west as hot air balloons took to the sky above Parramatta and thousands of families gathered for picnics celebrating Australia's diversity.
We all come from different countries and we come here and it's a place to unite.
For us it's about being proud of what we are and who we are and where we come from.
Over in Bondi, where else would you be but the beach?
It's a great way to spend the day when you're around people in a community vibe.
There was beach soccer, beach cricket, more than a few beach Barbies, even a beach on wheels in the back of a truck.
Hanging with the boys, having a barbecue of course and a few beers and enjoying Bondi.
And that enjoyment looks like it'll last well into the night.
And Nick, of course it is not over yet. What is happening tonight?
Yes, well, there's hours more celebrations to come. Here where I am at Darling Harbour, there's live music throughout the night. Sneaky Sound System is about to take to the stage behind me. There's live street performers, there's been dragon boat races, and then later, once it gets dark at 9 o'clock, a fireworks spectacular over the harbour. And if fireworks aren't your thing, there's a major concert over on the Opera House forecourt featuring some of Australia's best-known artists. Jess Mauboy, Thirsty Merc, Justice Crew, Roy and HG will be there too. So something for almost everyone. It certainly should be a good way to bring an end to Australia Day 2016.
Thanks, Nick. Nick Dole reporting there from Darling Harbour. And we'll meet a few of Australia's newest citizens a little later in the program. A British explorer attempting to be the first man to cross the Antarctic unaided has died after suffering exhaustion and dehydration. Henry Worsley was 50 kilometres short of his goal when he collapsed. Europe correspondent Lisa Miller reports.
Henry Worsley was just 50 kilometres short of his goal when he abandoned the expedition, calling for help and recording this final message.
My journey is at an end. I have run out of time, physical endurance, and a simple, sheer inability to slide one ski in front of the other to cover the distance required to reach my goal.
He'd already spent 71 days on the ice alone, travelling 1,400 kilometres. He was flown to a hospital in Chile and died of complete organ failure. Just a week previously, he'd thought he was on course.
I'm jolly hungry, I'm jolly tired, and I've got a deadline to meet for a pickup on somewhere around the 24th.
The historic crossing had been a long-held ambition. The former army officer had been passionate about the lives of the Antarctic explorers since childhood, including his idol Ernest Shackleton, who tried and failed to make the journey 100 years earlier.
There's a reason why these things have not been done before. They are extremely difficult, and going solo with no resupply and being unassisted in all shapes and forms is the purest form and the hardest form of travel, quite possibly on the surface of the earth.
Prince William was a patron of the expedition. He and his brother praised Henry Worsley for his determination and courage. Lisa Miller, ABC News, London.
Roger Federer has cruised into the Australian Open semi-finals after a straight sets win over Thomas Berdych. Serena Williams won her 18th straight match against Maria Sharapova. setting up a match against Agnieszka Radwanska, who also won her quarter-final. While in the men's draw, Federer is the oldest man to reach the Final Four since 1979. For more than 16,000 people, today had special significance. It was the day they became Australia's newest citizens. Hundreds of citizenship ceremonies were held across the nation, inviting people from more than 150 countries to call Australia home.
Back in Mumbai, Prafulla Parida was known as the man with the moves. But his best move came 7 years ago.
I give up everything, you know, all my career, everything. They come here just for love.
Prafulla met his Australian wife Tanya while working on a musical, The Merchants of Bollywood. She was managing the tour, which saw Prafulla travel all over the world. Australia was his last stop.
When I started my journey, I didn't thought that time I'm going to be a Australian citizen. I'm going to be Australia, live in there and make my life.
Today, the citizenship ceremony at Sydney's Museum of Contemporary Art became a Bollywood party, but with a bittersweet twist.
It's very exciting. At the same time, it's sad as well, because I have to give up my Indian passport.
In every state, migrants became citizens. For many, this day has come after a very long wait.
Really exciting. It's been like a long 10 years, and after 10 years, the time came now.
Taiwan-born chef Johnny Hong has won several awards for his Italian cooking, but he says there's no honour greater than becoming Australian.
The country is going to give a lot of opportunity for both of us, and for the children, I think it's much more important for them.
A proud family on a day to remember. Mazoe Ford, ABC News.
Checking the weather now, and we finally had some hot and sunny weather, but not here to stay, Graham.
No, we're looking at some quite wet conditions developing Thursday through to Saturday at this stage. Each of those days could see some worthwhile falls. But today is been warm and humid. Our tops range from about 26 to 29. But last night we had a band of thundery showers spread from Lane Cove through to Mona Vale. That triggered some falls around about 50 to 66 millimetres. And to 9 a.m. there were similar isolated falls along the length of the coast and ranges of the state. But today's activity has been a lot more isolated, although 53 millimetres at Dorrigo has been the heaviest of the falls. 20 to 50 millimetres fell along a stretch through to the Coffs Coast. Now, severe thunderstorm warning remains in place for the snowy southern slopes and also between Burke, Walgett and Mungandai. Moist air is feeding into a trough over the inland. That's what's helping keep the humidity levels high. It's going to combine with an approaching upper level disturbance, and that's going to deepen the surface trough. It'll produce some widespread showers and thunderstorms across the state in the coming days before it mostly clears New South Wales through the weekend. The showers and thunderstorms are going to develop across Victoria and Tasmania. Parts of both those states are looking at possible heavy falls, especially Tasmania on Friday and Saturday. But for New South Wales tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms will be widespread over the inland, although more isolated in the far west, and fairly isolated showers anywhere north of the line from about Nowra through to Mudgee. In the northeast, partly cloudy, just some isolated showers expected. They'll fall mostly in the afternoon and the evening, and they'll be a little bit more likely about the tablelands. We've still got deceptively powerful surf conditions, but that'll be in the morning. They'll ease by the afternoon. Now, fairly cloudy days, some isolated showers in the north, tending more widespread in the southern half. We've got freshening northerly winds, and they'll increase on the waters, and that dangerous surf also abating by the afternoon. The showers and thunderstorms across all but the far west. They'll tend a little bit more isolated about the northern slopes, but we'll also see those thunderstorms spreading to rain about the Riverina and southern slopes. In Sydney, lows of 17 to 21. Our tops will reach about 24 to 26. It's going to be another fairly cloudy day, just an isolated shower. They're more likely through the early part of tomorrow morning and then should generally clear by the afternoon. Winds will freshen in the middle of the day and the powerful surf conditions will also ease through the morning. Now, Thursday, Friday and Saturday, we're looking at the potential of fairly widespread showers and thunderstorms. Most suburbs should pick up some rainfall through that three-day period. Thursday at this stage likely to produce the heaviest of the falls. Then as we move into Sunday, generally clearing conditions. Any showers on Monday and Tuesday, very isolated, Bonita.
Thanks, Graham. And that is ABC News for this Australia Day. Stay with us now for 7:30.